Hello everyone. In this video, I wanted to continue the conversation with No Code Governance app and having a little bit more understanding on how do we deploy slash commit those changes that we're making from one instance to maybe another instance or within an existing app. Here I am in the application hub where I can go in and build new applications, whether it's a case, whether it's a home page or dashboard, I should say, and so on. So we won't dive too deep into this. The main idea is in application hub, of course, we can build new apps or access existing apps and make changes to them. Now, because I may have my development, my production environment, in this case, we'll say that the studio is the development application and the CRM bundle here is the production environment. I'm now able to go in here and deploy this change into the specific environment of my choosing. In this case, we're going from dev to production, and I'm going to go in here and deploy that. This idea would be that we deploy an app and then we'll dive deeper into how the governance application comes into play with our different controls and rules that are set up to make sure that any changes are adhering to security standards. Here we can see our deployment request. We can select a deployment. And general idea is that there are different stages where I can do a verification that would run the different controls on the back end to make sure that each control is passed. Some of them are currently in progress. As I refresh, it will update. What is not passed will create an audit issue that will need to be resolved. But the main goal here is by refreshing this, I'm just going to see how the audits are resolved or how issues are listed. And then from there, as we resolve everything, or if we dive into the issue and see what the problems are, the necessary changes would be done by the person who did the deployment. And this will eventually lead for us to be able to make sure that all the controls and requirements are met. And as we refresh here, we will be able to see now that each issue is being resolved one by one, thus allowing each and control to be passed. Right now, we only have one that is passed, but if I refresh again, we will see how we move from one being passed to now two being passed to all of them being passed, which will then, once everything is greenlit, we would be able to move to the next stage, which is making it ready to deploy and then proceeding with the actual deployment. Here we go, save again. And now I can go ahead and deploy because we are ready for deployment, right? Um, this kind of helps us, again, make sure that every deployment is adhering to the environmental controls that we have configured within the system until it's pretty much deployed. Now, if we go back to Application Hub or into governance, I should say, we'll be able to now see some of the other deployment requests that came in. Some of them I could go back into and maybe restore to a previous version if needed, or just simply see again for each deployment where we are and what stage we are and what actually needs to get done. You'll also be able to go to the monitoring section to get a health general report or health check monitoring as far as like licenses, users, and all that good stuff. But really, this is the goal of the governance app. Once applications are built or changes are made, things are deployed, deployments run through the environmental controls that we set. We can have different users, of course, and from there have a app that meets and adheres to all the security standards. Thank you.